First interviews often feel like survival
Mm.
tests. So looking back, how did that early experience influence the way you approach opportunities later in your career?
Okay. So, well, good question, Miss Vey. Siguro backtracking yung pinaka-first kong interview experience dun sa pinakauna kong trabaho, which was in sales before. To be honest, I was clueless kasi I was 17 before. Wala talaga akong kaalam-alam kung saan ba talaga 'to papunta kasi, I was just a young person noon applying lang to something na alam ko na 'pag natanggap ako, I will have a sufficient profit. May sufficient
Income.
akong income na makukuha from doing work or tasks from this company. So ako noon hanggang doon lang. Pero later on, siguro sabihin na natin like 6 months, um, 6 months of working for that company, na-realize ko din na naging instrumental siya doon sa mga next moves ko kasi for sure many people will agree with me with this na yung mga first job talaga natin, hindi natin pwedeng I mean, kokonting tao lang yung makapagsabi na yung first job nila, yun na talaga.
True.
I mean, there's a small percentage of our population lang ang makakapagsabi noon. And para sa akin, napakaswerte ng mga taong yon. Pero to me, naging instrumental siya kasi looking back right now, as I'm reminiscing or remembering nga naman, naging very instrumental siya kasi marami akong nakitang hindi ko gusto. Not really purely doon sa company, but mostly sa akin. Hindi ko gusto meaning I discovered a lot of things na on my first job na akala kong capable ako pero insufficient pala yung knowledge and skills na meron ako. Yeah, the pay is good pero nga lang in my personal assessment of my 17, 18-year-old me, parang I'm not doing justice for the company. Parang nadadaya ko sila kasi although I know they say that I'm doing good, pero parang nung nag-reflect ako, parang hindi ko sila natutulungan ng tama sa maayos na
Yes.
paraan. So parang na-guilty ako noon. So what I did was, of course, I voluntarily went out. Kasi kako, as a very principled person, parang hindi to tama. Parang ano naman. So I needed something more to build upon. Parang ganon sa akin. Oo. But that's a nice question
Parang ano
actually.
po siya, no? Parang way back first job mo po, parang naging foundation siya
Yeah.
na
K-
maging mas better
Oo.
itong next mo na mga career path.
Kasi basically my main mistake before first job ko, wala talaga akong purpose other
Parang ano,
than
income.
kumita lang. Kasi during that time din, yung environment noon and then yung stage ko din sa buhay ko noon, my father lost his job so I need to step up. Kasi ako yung panganay din sa amin. So I needed to step up. I'm not really thinking of any other thing but yung profit, yung income lang. So sabi ko kahit saan na work, basta legal, hindi masyadong tasking sa katawan ko, sa mental health ko, I can do it. Sabi ko ganun. And in sales, napaka-challenging ng mga years na yon sa sales kasi literally we were really knocking door to door. Corporate boardrooms, buildings talagang ganun, bahay-bahay, the old school old school type of lead generation pa noon kasi in sales may prospecting, may lead generation, and then i-convert mo na siya into sales. Um, not only after you get the leads, saka mo lang siya pwede ma-convert na sales. So yung prospect mo, hindi mo pa pwedeng masabing sales yon. So ako noon, lagi ako nakatutok sa sales. So parang sa isip ko noon, lahat ng taong nakikita ko dyan, prospects. Tapos prospects sila. Pag nakausap ko na, di-leads ko na. So, kasi nga, naka-focus ako masyado sa money. Which, I think, looking back right now, it was a mistake kasi wala talaga akong ka-purpose noon. 17-year-old. It's very difficult to have a purpose nung time na yon.
Napaka-important po talaga ng purpose.
Yes,
Lalo na
oo.
pag mag-a-apply ka ng job na ito ba align sa principles
Yes,
ko?
oo.
Tapos ito ba gusto ko ba talaga to?
Mm.
Pero may mga factors po talaga.
Yeah, in fact, hindi lang sa trabaho. let me interject then. Kasi purpose applies to everything that you do, basically. Apply sa love life, sa schooling, sa lalong-lalo sa traveling. Kung ano bang purpose mo, ba't ka punta dito and so, such and such. Pero since we're talking about sa employment, very important ang purpose, yung why.
Yes.
Why did you choose this company? Bakit gusto mo tong position na to dun sa company na to? Um, do you really believe? Why do you believe doon sa mission and vision ng company na to and so much more pa, but very foundational ang purpose.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay po, thank you sa
Yeah.
answer po. So next is, what's the most effective way to prepare for an interview beyond just googling common questions?
Okay. So, ang ganda ng question na yan, Vey, kasi ako, I'm a 90s kid. I'm a millennial. So, obviously, we were not born with the technology.
Na isang
So,
click,
oo.
andyan na.
I mean, looking back, Google boomed I need to check my history, pero mga early 2000s na eh.
Opo, early 2000s.
Pero, nung nagkaisip ako, wala, we cannot really use anything to search something from. We only have books and people na pwede mo makausap talaga, just like what we're doing. Like, experiential answers. So, what's the most effective siguro if you want to ask that? I think it's, of course, starting pa rin sa isip. Sa mental preparedness mo. Here at Smart Speech, we are sharing a very, very interesting formula. Tinatawag namin yun na E plus R equals O. So, isi-share ko lang din. Meron siyang kaugnayan dito sa maganda mo rin na tanong, Miss Bay. Now, yung formula na yon, yung E plus R equals O, it's a formula that's being used for mind conditioning. Okay? I said mind conditioning, so parang heavy psychological aspect yung dating. Pero it's not. It's practical psychological stuff. Now, E plus R equals O goes na yung E, these are events na hindi mo makokontrol. The R naman stands for the responses or responses that you do or create based on these events na na-experience mo na hindi mo nakokontrol. And then yung O are your outcomes. So it looks like, therefore pala sir, ibig sabihin, if only I know what to respond or how to respond, the outcome can be predictable. Yes. So, kung i-connect ko siya dun sa tanong na what's probably the most effective way, tama ba? Most effective way to
yes,
to prepare.
for an interview.
Yeah, I love that question. That word primarily, yung preparation na yan. Na yung formula na to, we've been sharing this formula as well, not only for job seekers out there, but for all professionals sa lahat ng facets of life, na yung E plus R equals O basically is a formula for consistent peace of mind. For example, uncontrollable event. Okay? An example of an uncontrollable event, nakita mo yung hiring ng company. Uncontrollable event yan kasi you cannot tell the company na wag mag-post ng hiring nila. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. So uncontrollable siya. R comes in when you saw the posting and then nag-respond ka. And what was your response? Nag-prepare ka, nag-isip ka na kagad. Split second sa isip mo, naisip mo na kagad, uy, hiring. Parang okay dito, parang gusto ko dito. So parang nag-prepare ka na sa isip mo, okay, nakita ko to na hiring, my response was interest, nag-i-interested ako. So how can I then prepare? Sobrang bilis pero it happens very quick sa isip natin. But kung hihimayin pa natin siya ng kaunti, yung R na part, it's bigger. Dapat mas malaki yung R na part doon kasi yung response mo doon doesn't only stop doon sa naging interested ka nung nakita mo yung hiring posting nila. Yes. So, okay, himayin natin yung R. Again, uncontrollable event, may hiring doon sa isang organization, may vacant na position doon sa organization na yon. Now, since yung initial response mo was to become very interested or you became very interested doon, gusto mong applyan yung vacant na position, unconsciously perhaps you started trying to to condition your mind, naghahanap ka na ng mga how-tos. But if you're asking me about the most effective way siguro, we can actually trace it down to doon pa sa further conditioning pa na yon. And when I say further conditioning pa, doon sa response mo na yon, you should also respond and think na 50-50 lagi yan. 50% pwede kang ma-hire, 50% na hindi. Okay? It's always 50-50. Yung ganun na mindset. So, okay. If I'm gonna make it put it in layman's term pa. Again, uncontrollable event, nakita mo, hiring yung organization na gusto mong pasukan, gusto mong maging part of. Yung initial response mo, naging interested ka. And because of that interest, naghanap ka kaagad ng mga how-tos mo, which is kadalasan, this is not 100%, but most of the time, dito nag-start yung failures ng mga applicants. Kasi naghahanap na kaagad sila ng how can they be hired without even thinking na may possibility din na pwede din silang hindi ma-hire. Okay? Yun yung pinaka-start dapat. It's not even the not the pinaka-start, but yeah, tama yun. Yung pinaka-start is the interest, and after the interest dapat yung reality na ganun. Yung conditioning ng isip mo na okay, I'm interested with this or interested at this vacant position, pero I need to face the reality na yes, I can be hired, but I can also be pwede din namang ma-reject yung application ko. So, and then the other things should come after. Medyo mahaba yan. So, another uncontrollable event kasi it comes from, okay, parang ang format niya is uncontrollable event, may vacant na position, initial response mo, nag-interested ka, even before sa tingin mong prepared ka na, marami pang mga uncontrollable events dyan. Like for example, let's say you're very much prepared na. May mga nakausap ka ng tao, you ask for advice. Ano po ba yung mga dapat kong gawin, dapat kong isuot, dapat kong isipin primarily before, during, and lalong-lalo after the interview. And I'll tell you more about that, yung after the interview kasi importante din yan. But before the interview, there's so many uncontrollable events din dyan. Let's say fast forward na tayo yung sa day ng interview mo. Okay? Let's say for example, your interview is scheduled, siguro sabihin na natin 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So many people are asking, ano ba yung pinaka-standard talaga na oras na kailangan mong dumating before doon sa venue, before the actual interview? It's highly debatable, pero maraming studies ang nagsasabi at least 15 minutes sa area. But doon sa actual na building, it's okay na 5 to 10 minutes. The pinaka-late mo na dapat na isipin is yung 5 minutes before the interview. Isipin mo, dapat late na yon. Okay? To be honest, ito rin, ang additional doon sa mind conditioning na to, the job application process or the interview process started when you saw yung posting na yon. Doon yun nag-start. At that moment, nag-start na kagad yon. So your journey para ma-hire ka, hopefully, is nag-start mula nung nakita mo yung job posting na yon. So like I've said, sabi ko kanina, uncontrollable event na pwedeng ma-experience mo doon. Let's say 1 p.m. yung interview mo, lumabas ka ng bahay 11. Pero for whatever reason, na-miss out mo yung balita, strike pala doon sa lugar na yon. So totally wala kang masakyan. Pero sa isip mo, very ample pa naman ang 2 hours. Hindi pa naman yata ako malilate. Unfortunate things can happen. Bukod sa strike, what if bigla ding umulan ng malakas? Paglabas, nagpe-prepare ka sa bahay nyo, ang ganda ng panahon, di ka nagdala ng payong, naging complacent ka. So, may masasakyan ka naman na sana dapat, kaso ang lakas ng buhos ng ulan, yung tinigilan mong shade, it's meters away from the road kung saan tumitigil yung mga Grab or yung mga taxi. So, pag pinilit mo makapunta doon, mababasa at mababasa ka, and nobody wants to go to an interview soaking wet. So, my point there is there's so many uncontrollable factors pa na pwedeng mangyari before the actual interview. Even 5 minutes before the interview, ang daming pwedeng mangyari dyan. I had a friend before, nakakatawa kasi andun na siya sa building, Ang nangyari pati, may katabi siya na hindi naman for application. 5 minutes before the interview, natapunan siya nung hawak na kape nung tao na yun na nandun sa lobby. For whatever reason. But fast forward, naka-ano siya, naka-interview siya. Pwede siya tanggap dun sa position. Okay, so maraming pwedeng mangyari dun. So my point there is, I think it's very much important to anticipate all of the possible things na pwedeng mangyari, both positive and negative things. So never maging complacent o maging kampante dapat hanggang hindi pa talaga natatapos yung actual na interview, or mas maganda, hanggang hindi ka pa na-hire. So again, mindset is the interview process started when you saw yung job posting. Technicality-wise, may mga interviewers din na tinatanong, what did you saw doon sa job posting namin? What was the position that you saw? Can you tell me, for example, sa government, can you tell me about the salary grade? Mababa yung salary grade, pero I'm looking at your resume, your PDS. I think you are more worth it sa mas mataas sa salary grade, pero ba't in-applyin mo yung mas mababa? Yung mga ganong klaseng tanong. So, you need to really, I mean, for aspiring job seekers there, just aspiring professionals and job seekers out there, kailangan ninyong ma-realize na the interview started the moment na nakita nyo yung posting na yon. Kasi yung posting yun, marami ding details yun.
Yes, opo.
The organization itself may ask details about them. So, it entails research as well. Kailangan mo din mag-research doon. Lalong-lalo na kapag you are applying to a government organization, kasi government organizations are being guided by laws. Okay, may mga Republic Acts na nagtalaga ng mga agencies na yan. So you need to kailangan mong hindi naman kailangan ma-memorize, pero ma-familiarize yung sarili mo sa mga guiding rules and regulations and related laws doon sa mga organizations na yon. Let me just add pa, Ms. Bea, additional ano pa. So that was before the interview. Now, during the interview naman, marami ding mga uncontrollable events dyan. Yung mood ng interviewer, that's uncontrollable event. And hindi naman sa pero marami na akong napasukang interviews, talagang ang laki nung factor din nung mood nung interviewer, and again, hindi mo yun makokontrol. And most HR personnel may background sila sa psychology. Karamihan. So, minsan nag-i-in character din yan. Sinasadya na ganito yung parang mood nila kahit hindi naman talaga, to test the applicant itself kung ano yung magiging reaction niya doon. Kung masungit ba yung interviewer, how can you compose yourself still? Kung nagdadabog, and many things can happen. Okay? So, yeah, that's very important. Yung most effective way, check your mindset muna. Yung reality na 50-50, na 50% pwede kang makapasa, 50% hindi. Okay? And then yung reality din na before, during, and after the interview, marami pwedeng mangyari na uncontrollable mo. So it's all about how you respond to those uncontrollable things. Predictable yung outcome, of course. Pag ginalingan mo or inayos mo, and plus, of course, you pray, ang outcome is, of course, you will have the job.
Thank you po.
Yeah.
So interviews aren't just about words.
Yeah.
They're about presence.
Yes.
So how does body language serve as a signal of confidence and authenticity? So, and what can candidates do to align their nonverbal cues with their message?
Okay. So, body language, I agree. Very, very important ang body language. As simple as lack of eye contact can actually cost you the position.
Yes.
I've known a lot of people, even me, kahit ako noon, nag-start ako, one of my comments during my very first few experiences sa interviews ko noon is I lack eye contact daw. Meron mga technique dyan na you don't really need to look directly into the eyes of the but you can look here, dito sa bridge ng nose. Dito, as in dito lang sa gitna. It can actually fool the interview, the person that you're looking at, that you're looking directly to his or her eyes. Kadalasan triangulated din yan. You can also Look at the forehead,
Forehead.
left eye, right eye, and then dito. Para hindi ka din, para magkaroon din siya ng variation. But eye contact is very important. Other body languages, never, importante din kasi yun. And dagdagan ko na lang din never consistently look at your watches pagka during interviews. Delikado yan. Kasi it portrays impatience. It portrays na parang, baka isipin ng interviewer niyan, ay,
Interesado ba to?
concern siya sa tayo, interesado ba to? Baka may susunod pa siyang interview sa ibang company. Di, wag na, sige, amo na lang. So, mahirap yon. Maraming klaseng body language. I share ko na rin. Let me take this opportunity na din. Brushing your hair, hinahawakan mo yung buhok mo, awkward din yan.
Fourth pala.
Turn off din yan, yes. What other body languages pa? Body languages and mannerisms na kailangang iwasan. Pero okay, so sobrang dami. Ano lang ba yung mga pinaka-accepted talaga, though walang mga standards dito. Trying to maintain your head and neck na kung pwede na sa ganitong position lang. Hindi ka gaganyan-ganyan, hindi ka lingon ng lingon sa kung saan-saan. It applies online at saka face-to-face. Okay? Yung shoulder mo rin, kung pwede, yung ganitong reaction, para it pertains kasi na parang, I'm not sure, hindi ko alam. No din yan. Like I've said, karamihan ng mga HR personnel, psychology majors. So, you need to really, So, you really need to be careful. And pinag-aralan nila yan talagang, nature nila yan, na tignan talaga yung mga body language, lagyan ng language, yung body language nila. Body movements, rather. What else pa ba? Sitting straight, actually is one of the most effective. Never slouch.
Yes.
Pag ganyan, pag nakaupo ka dun sa chair. Wag ka din sumandal.
So,
Ang nakakatawa sa mga chairs nga, traditionally kasi, ang mga upuan traditionally, wala naman talagang sandalan. Pero modern times, because of additional comfort, nilagyan na ng sandalan. And sa mga corporate boardrooms, aesthetics lang naman yun mostly. Kasi ang proper decorum sa corporate boardrooms, corporate etiquette, you're not really allowed to lean back. Kasi it shows complacency, parang you are parang lazy, something like that. You are relaxing. Corporate boardrooms and corporate etiquette is in a professional setting. So, syempre, in a professional setting, ayaw mo naman na nagre-relax ka unless you were told to do so. Pag naka-break ka, pwede naman. Okay? So, yun. So, but standard-wise, yung mga sandalan sa chairs, hindi dapat pwedeng sandalan yan, lalong-lalo na pagka-interview. So, you need to have a proper posture sa back mo. One practice na pwede nyong magamit, is putting a pencil sa likod ninyo and then doon sa backrest ng upuan. It gives you parang yung feeling, awareness na, okay, ganito pa rin tamang posture, and maintain na dapat di mahulog yung pencil. If you want to practice, dapat you can try that na ganyan. One thing, another thing pa for your posture, maglagay ka ng book sa ulo pag nakaupo ka. Lalong-lalo for prolonged periods of sitting. Ang goal mo din, of course, doon is dapat hindi mahulog din yung book sa ulo mo. That's how can you physically prepare sa doon sa interview na ano mo na yon, sa interview session mo na yon. What was the other question na, Miss May? Papala? But there's so much sa body language pa lang, ang daming maraming dapat pwedeng ma-consider.
What can candidates do to align their non-verbal cues
Okay.
with their message? Gestures.
Emphasis. Many people are saying na you can only put emphasis kapag nagsasalita ka. Pero you can also put emphasis kahit hindi ka nagsasalita. Now, as an example is normal gestures. By gesturing. Like for example, if I am to portray, well, when I was working with them, I am so passionate about yung mga ganong klaseng mga movements. Very little lang naman ang pinaka-known and practiced na ways on how to really put emphasis rather doon sa mga point mo, but gestures are very important. Yung mga gestures, yung mga simpleng pagkumpas ng kamay, it actually shows the interviewer that you are so naiintindihan mo yung point mo masyado, that you are able to express it even in a physical way. So napaka-importante 'yon. Okay? Come to think of it, kung iisipin, ang job interview is basically para din siyang public speaking in a way.
Yes.
Para din siyang public speaking in a way. Para ka rin nagde-deliver ng speech mo. But the closest to it is marketing. You're actually marketing yourself. Now, let me give you a very interesting point here. In marketing, previous ko din na trabaho 'yan. It's a known fact na if you are marketing everything about you, noon possibly effective siya. Like for example, a laptop. Nakikita natin madalas ganitong karaming ROM, ganitong karaming RAM, ito yung mga features, like all about the laptop. It's okay. It's effective. Tama, pwede naman 'yon. That laptop can sell. But if you're talking about marketing yourself personally, it's better to relay the things that you can do for the organization. Kasi kung iisiping mabuti, lalong-lalo dun sa question na tell me something about yourself. Never ever tell something about yourself na nasa application letter at nandun na sa resume. Kasi it's gonna be redundant. So, probably the best question for that, and it has been effective naman, is something na sa tingin mo, naririnig mo kadalasan na sinasabi ng mga friends mo. Like for example, you can start by dun sa question na tell me something about yourself. According to my closest friends, I am loyal, I am like this, I am like that, something like that. Parang, tama ba yun? Second person, third person point of view, something like that. Kasi the danger din naman kung sasabihin mo, I'm loyal, it will sound arrogant. Parang magiging mayabang naman yung dating. So, pag ganun yung ginawa mo, there's a tone na parang humble ka. They tell me na parang ganito daw ako according to them, I am like this, I am like that, so something like that. So ako ang ginagawa ko minsan, I usually joke pa nga na I don't actually believe them, pero I thank them for saying that, parang ganun lang. So may konting ano din. But basically job applications are literally marketing yourself. Pero dun din kadalasan medyo nag-fall short yung mga applicants kasi they keep on talking about themselves. Okay? So much better, you talk a little bit about yourself, but mostly talk about your contribution doon sa organization. What can you offer them using everything that you have? What do you believe in? Ano mo yung why mo? Ano yung purpose mo? And it should be, babalik ulit ako doon, it should be very clear, not only to you lang, pero dapat pati din sa organization, why did you really apply for this position? Kasi yung mga answer na kailangan nating iwasan dyan is the obvious, like, gusto ko po kasi yung salary grade. Gusto ko pong tumira sa, say, Manila, or gusto ko pong tumira sa US. No, that's very self-centered, and ayaw ng mga organizations yun. Take note, ang mga organizations, the reason why they are hiring is they need people to help them. Okay? Yun yung main purpose nila. Pero ako, ang hugot ko dyan, organizations naman sana should hire people who can help them do good for the world, pero sa ibang topic na lang. But mostly ganun yon. Nag-hire sila kasi may kailangang i-fill in na position and underman sila. Yun yung sense nun. So, but you need to be clear. Bukod doon, that's obvious na kasi. There's a vacant position, of course. That's the obvious answer. Pero what more can you offer to the organization using your own beliefs and capabilities and capacities and skills, knowledge? You can also use your wisdom para dun sa ikabubuti generally ng organization. Yung parang intangible asset na pwede nilang makuha from you. Ayan. Okay.
What advice do you give to people who get really nervous before interviews?
Oh, okay. I have two. That's a good question, Miss May, by the way. Maganda yan. Napaka-timely nung tanong kasi napansin ko rin personally, in my own personal observation, many people right now, especially those belonging to the recent generations, unfortunately, naawa ko sa kanila, they really lack confidence. So, yeah, oo, na That's why we're offering programs nga din sa Smart Space to address that concern societal concern. Pero okay, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to give humble advices. Number one, I'm gonna go back. Yung mindset na ganon. Para hindi ka kabahan. Okay? Isipin mo yung possibility, yung reality that it is 50-50. Yes, you want the job. Pero may reality din na pwedeng hindi ka din nila i-hire. So you need to be clear with that. And you need to be at peace with that. Yun yung reality. Pwede kang ma-hire 50%, pwede ka ring hindi ma-hire at 50%. So, pag nagawa mo yun, you can actually, there's a potential na mabawasan mo yung kung ano mang kaba na yan. But let me siguro dissect yung quote-unquote na kaba na yan. Kasi according to many studies, there's no such thing as nervousness and kaba. It's just excitement. You are excited kung tatanggapin ka ba o hindi. Kung you are excited, kaya nyo nafe-feel yung kaba na yan. You're excited, number one, kung tatanggapin ka ba, nagkikick in sa'yo yung feeling na yon, primordial feeling na yon na yung nagkikick in yung dopamine, nafe-feel mo na nagkikick in yung dopamine kasi pag na-hire ka, it's a good thing. It's a happy thing. So excited kang ma-feel yung feeling na yon. At the same time, you're also excited to know kung hindi ka ba tatanggapin para ma-prepare mo na yung sarili mo. Dun sa negative, of course, for many people, it's a negative but for me, look on the bright side. Hindi ka tinanggap kasi might as well, baka may mas better pa sa'yo. But yung kaba, yung nervousness is just excitement.
Yes.
According to studies, the same sila. Pag kinakabahan daw, palms are sweating, eyelids are flickering, hindi mapakali, same with excitement. Very, very similar. So, second advice ko siguro, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, accept and acknowledge na excitement lang yun. I'm just excited, I'm excited. Excited lang ako. Excited ako kung matatanggap ako. Excited ako na ma-feel na yung feeling na yon, yung yes, yung ganun. Kasi gusto ko i-treat yung sarili ko kasi deserve ko sa mga bata, ganun, di ba? Deserve ko to dahil na-hire ako sa isang bagong organization para sa akin. And then at the same time, excited ka rin na ma-feel or ma-prepare yung sarili mo if ever hindi ka ma-hire. Kasi nga, reality yon. Pwede kang ma-hire, pwede kang hindi. That's inevitable reality, like you've said nga kanina. Dagdagan ko, sige, tuloy. Para maalis yung kaba, if you wanna go religious, of course, pray. You pray. Whenever I talk about confidence in front of religious and faithful people, I'm always using yung story ni David versus Goliath. Have you heard of that? Of course. It's a biblical story na you know what happened there. David was a mere shepherd lang, wielding for all the tools, slingshot. And then he was able to kill, and yet he was able to kill Goliath. So, dissect natin yung confidence. Confidence came from Latin na confidere or confidere. Now, con is with. Fidere is trust. So, in translation, with trust. Many people sinasabi, kanino ka mag-trust? Sa'yo. I agree with that. Okay naman. But take note, we are human beings. We have limitations. May mga hindi tayo kayang gawin. Hanggang dito lang tayo. It's okay to trust yourself. Pero in very many moments, in most moments in life, kahit nagkukulang yung trust sa sarili. So where can you trust? Who can you trust? Siya lang.
Yes.
Okay? That's part of the reality na 50% ma-hire ka, 50% hindi. So, okay Lord, kung na-hire ako, thank you so much. Kung hindi din, okay lang din. Kasi I trust you na baka meron ka pang ibang plan sa akin na hindi ko alam. His wisdom is infinite. We cannot really comprehend the immensity of His wisdom. So, siguro, it gives comfort for somebody who's, not only you for sure, I can see from your eyes, it gives a sort of a comfort na parang, oh nga, no? Yes. It's very comforting to really realize na whatever happens, I'm gonna be okay. Love niya pa rin ako. May plan siyang iba. Hindi ako papabayaan. So, I think that's I'm not really giving advices like very technical advices kasi that's on the human side. It's effective, yeah, pero we start here dapat. Dito tayo nagsa-start. Yung conditioning nito. Kasi if this fails, your body will follow. Wala na. I mean, ultimately, of course, here, and of spiritual, ganun din. Best advices siguro na pwede kong mabigay.
So next question po
Okay.
is, what's the hardest interview question you've ever asked or been asked? And how should candidates handle it?
Okay.
Hardest. Subjective.
Yeah. Personally, looking back, yung tinanong ako for the first time noon, what's my purpose? Generally, not really purpose on or purpose of purpose or reason ko kung bakit ako nag-apply doon. But my general purpose in life, I can say that it was one of the most challenging or the hardest interview question for me noon kasi I was caught in the dilemma if I'm gonna tell my perceived true purpose in life kasi alam ko na yung purpose ko talaga noon. And I was caught in that dilemma kung isi-share ko ba to o hindi sa kanila and ayoko naman magsinungaling. What ended up happening was I shared it to them. And this is how it went. I told them that my purpose in life is I've been dreaming for the longest time na wala nang individual ang malulungkot sa trabaho, wala nang organizations ang nagfa-fire ng mga employees. Everybody is in harmony, everybody is productive, everybody is happy sa work, sa family, sa personal life, lahat alam yung purpose nila. So although I just simplified it in a very professional manner noon. And then what happened was I was not hired. Kasi nga napredict ko yung posibleng mangyari kasi nga siguro in their mind I never knew kung ano ba talaga yung naging reason. Pero I think malaki yung reason kung bakit di ako na-hire noon doon sa company na yon yung doon sa interview na yun kung saan dinivulge ko yung purpose ko na yon. I think perhaps for them it's very impossible. Sa tingin ko lang. Like siguro in their mind hindi ko na maalala yung pangalan ng interviewer na yun. Pero perhaps in her mind, here comes a person, very delusional, dreaming of a utopia, a heavenly kind of world na lahat is walang taong nagre-resign dahil ayaw nila ng leadership, walang individuals na nahihirapan maghanap ng purpose, walang companies na nalulugi, walang families na nahihirapan. Perhaps doon sa interviewer siguro masyadong delusional yung purpose ko na yon. I don't mind. I understand her. Kasi nga naman, personally ako, let me just share to you, Miss Vey. I know for a fact, share ko rin to doon sa dating, yung sa nakaraang in-upload ko din na podcast episode. I was interviewed din by one of my friends, psychology student yon, si Sir Joram. Na-share ko doon na yun yung purpose ko na yun. I already accepted it na hindi ko ma-experience yung purpose na yun in my lifetime kasi it's so hard, it's so tough. But it's not impossible.
Yes.
Hindi yun imposible. Kanya lang, tinanggap ko na. But I'm working for it. I'm working with it. I will die trying, sabi ko nga actually. We have a tool, our very humble organization, trying to really make that kind of world happen in the future siguro. Again, tanggap ko na, posibleng hindi ko yun ma-experience personally. Pero at least sinubukan ko.
Yes.
Sinumulan ko.
Yes.
So, I think, doon sa aspeto na yon, sa akin, personally, yun yung pinakamahirap. But sige, let's tone it down. Narinig ko naman ito sa karamihan ng mga nakakausap ko when it comes to hard or difficult interview questions nga. For them, it's very difficult daw yung tanong na, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Or, where do you see yourself a decade from now? Okay? Now, if I'm gonna give siguro a very imperfect advice doon, if you will, perhaps the best answer for that is I can see myself 5 years from now or a decade from now holding a position here in your prestigious organization, doing all my best for the good of the organization and for the good of the stakeholders, doing good for the world. But generally, I still see myself working here in your organization because I strongly believe in everything that you stand for. I don't really see myself getting out of this organization because that's how aligned my personal purpose, passion is to yours. Parang ganon. So kung ililaymanize ko siya, nakikita ko po yung sarili ko 5 years or 10 years from now, nag-work pa rin dito sa organization ninyo. Kasi personally, hindi ko po makita na magre-resign ako dito sa organization na to kasi sobrang aligned po ng ating beliefs. Yung personal beliefs ko po, very aligned to everything that you are standing for. So I want to still continue doing good for this organization, to your stakeholders, and ultimately, of course, for the world, using everything that I have learned for the past 10 years, parang ganon. So parang ang dating, yung tanong na yon is, for sure, nag-grow ka na 5 years, 10 years from now. Yung tanong na yon, actually, ang underlying essence nun is, how can you use everything that you've learned and developed from 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Paano mo siya gagamitin? Trap question siya kasi marami nagsasabi din na I see myself working in an organization daw. It sounds like hindi na yung ina-applyan mo. So parang ang dating is 10 years from now, 5 years from now, wala ka na dito. So there's no point of even answering that question kung yun yung sagot mo. Now, you might argue, parang nambobola po, sir. You can say that. Pero, again, yun nga yung point. And that's my far cry to, that's my, siguro that's my biggest, siguro empowerment din sa maraming nag-a-apply ngayon, na if you really believe in that organization, try to give that answer that you are looking for a prolonged collaboration with them. The term is collaboration. Okay? An advice as well for organizations then. Sorry, but it should just be a collaboration. A paid collaboration, if you will. Pero ang nangyari kasi slavery. I hate to say that. So anyways, ibang topic na lang. And so for dear organizations, if you strongly believe in everything that we're saying as well, treat everyone that's trying to be part of your organization as collaborators. Much better if parang children. Tratuhin nyo sila na parang mga anak ninyo. Lead them properly. Not slaves na, babayaran ko to, okay lang. Ito trabaho to sa akin, babayaran ko. Pag ayaw na mag-work sa akin, sige, umalis ka. Marami naman dyan papalit. Don't do that, please. And to employees din, mga applicants din, seek for a company, seek for an organization where you can grow, who can parent you, who can correct you, who can lead you properly. Kasi again, it's a collaboration nga. Part ito ng mundo na ini-envision ko. So, sana nga meron na. I know, meron naman na. Hindi ko pa lang siguro talaga nami-meet 100% yung existence sila na gano'n. Anyway, yeah.
So, ito po.
Okay.
The weakness question isn't really about flaws. It's about honesty and growth.
Yeah.
How can candidates use it to demonstrate self-awareness and a commitment to improvement rather than just rehearsed vulnerability?
Okay, yeah. That's another, yung question din na yan, trap or trick question din siya. Kasi, in reality, I'm not really into strengths and weaknesses na usapan pagdating dyan. It's given na kasi na lahat ng tao may strengths and weaknesses. So, like I've said, kaya ko siya sinabing trap or trick question, it's being used kung, number one, ganun ka ba, yung chinecheck nila yung level ng honesty mo. Level ng honesty and humility mo. If you are that willing to disclose yung mga weaknesses mo. Now, here's the thing. This is very interesting. Obviously, for example, your weakness is kunyari, writing. But you're applying for an admin position, a clerical position that involves a lot of writing and communication. So, it's very challenging to say it up front na my weakness po is writing. But you can rephrase it. You can be honest, you can be humble. Hindi i-rephrase mo lang siya. Hindi mo sasabihin, I'm weak at writing po. No. You can rephrase it as simple as, I'm very much interested in learning how to write. So, in a way, nasagot mo yung weakness na yon. Pero pwede mo pang dagdagan yon. For example, the question is, can you tell me about your weaknesses? Usually ganun, di ba? Can you tell me about your weaknesses? So, you can start by, oh, thank you so much po. Actually, I'm very interested in learning how to write. I can always try to make my writing better. So, pinahaba siyang version ng my weakness is writing. Pero, ang inoffer mo doon is, you are very much willing to improve. Hindi mo it's very safe as well na wag mo na din gamitin yung word na weakness. Notice dun sa sagot na yon, walang minention na weakness. You focused on the word improvement or improving. Reality, sa isip in reality, lahat naman tayo may kailangang i-improve. Nagkataon lang na gusto mong i-focus yung improvement mo doon sa writing. So parang it's a long way of saying that indeed, weakness ka sa writing, pero hindi mo siya straightforward sinabi. Pinahaba mo lang. Okay? Kung sakali naman, siguro na ang pinaka-weakness mo is, may mga ganyang applicants na, even ako, actually ako to share lang, ang sinabi kong weakness ko noon, which is totoo naman talaga, ang pinaka-weakness na share ko noon before, to share lang with this, in this conversation, I have the tendency to become very, 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 very passionate, hyper-passionate. Like, I tend to overdo things, parang ganon. Sa akin naman, sa style naman na yon, for many people, of course, it's not a form of weakness. In fact, in many organizations, gusto pa nga nila yon. Kasi it sounds free. This person can work for us on a higher level kahit nandito lang yung posisyon niya. It's free work for us. Pero nung dinefine ko siya na I tend to overdo things, I have the tendency to become hyper passionate, something like nag-come up nga ako ng sariling word. And coming up with your own interesting words, technique din yan para kahit papano yung interviewer maging interested sa mga susunod mong sasabihin. I specifically use the phrase hyper-passionate, naalala ko yun. There's no such thing as hyper-passionate, as being hyper-passionate. Pero ang pino-point out ko doon is, para bang, because of yung perceived weakness ko na ganon, I tend to overdo one task. Yung ibang task, hindi ko na matapos kaagad. Or natatapos ko man sila agad, pero hindi ako nagiging efficient. Pero, yung kaisa-isang task na yon, kung saan talaga ako nag-focus, has the tendency to be 100%. And I'm being honest with that noon, promise. Sa ako lang, ang dating lang noon is, yung perceived ko lang, yung subjective ko lang na weakness. It's uncommon, by the way. Saan ka nakarinig ng taong may ganun na klaseng weakness? Mag-over. Marami naman, hindi ko lang nakilala kung sino pa. Pero honestly, ganun talaga. May tendency akong ganun. I have a tendency to overdo things because of my passion, because I really put all of my focus doon sa, hindi lang naman sa isang task, dalawang task, lahat na magka-connect na task. Pero ang downside niya, other tasks na binibigay sa akin, parang hindi naman mediocre pero average lang yung magiging output. Na supposed to be dapat lahat yan superb. So nung in-explain ko yon, naalala ko, in fact natawa nga yung HR. Kasi first time niya rin daw marinig yon. But fast forward, na-hire ako doon sa trabaho ko na yun before. I don't know if it's because of that answer. Pero naalala ko lang because of that question. Nakakatuwa lang. Ang point doon is, when you encounter that question, try to rephrase or prolong yung point. And wag mo nang i-mention ulit yung word na weakness. Again, ulitin ko lang. If, for example, for whatever reason, ang weakness mo is sa writing, you can say na, yes, thank you so much. I'm very much interested in learning how to write better. How to write better. So, ibig sabihin, you know how to write na. Kasi pag tinanong ka naman ng weakness mo sa writing, hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi ka talaga marunong magsulat. Nagsusulat ka, kanya lang, in comparison sa ibang empleyado, yung writing skills mo, hindi ganon. Yun yung point ng tanong na yon. Na-perceive mo siya as weakness, so parang sagutin mo siya like, okay, I'm very much interested in making my writing better. I'm always wanting to improve my writing so that I can use it more to the betterment of this organization. Pinahaba mo yung, kaysa sabihin mong my weakness po is writing. Mahirap yun.
So, rephrase and
I-rephrase mo.
dagdag ng
Dagdagan.
improvement.
Yeah, dagdagan mo na. And, tama. Patungkol dun sa improvement and dapat mag ano ka pa rin, mag-inject ka pa rin or mag-interject ka pa rin ng benefit ng organization. Na despite weakness mo siya, the organization will still benefit from your weakness. Parang ganon. It's a trick question. Ganon, it goes also kung about sa strengths naman, goes the same din. It can go the same as well. Almost parehas lang din naman. Lalong-lalo pag sa strength kasi you're talking about you as an asset doon sa organization.
Kung ano mako-contribute mo.
Ano yung mako-contribute mo talaga? The obvious things that you can contribute directly to the organization. Pero okay, dagdag ko na lang din, since na-mention ko na lang din, when you're talking about your strengths, try not to sound arrogant, please. Try not to sound to be arrogant, na parang may mga tendencies na ganyan, na applicants has a tendency to parang boasting na yung dating. Or in the language of the youth, finiflex na, parang ganon. So, hindi din yun maganda sa tenga ng mga hiring entities. Kasi yeah, we know na meron ka talagang ganito. In fact, it's indicated in your resume, 'di ba? Yung skills, yung mga tawag nito, pag lalo na sa education and attainment, kung for example, may credential ka doon na you have one doctorate degree, your obvious strength is you are an academic. You are highly educated, 'di ba? Marami kang alam. Okay? So obvious na strength mo na 'yon. So titignan mo ngayon kung ano ba yung strengths mo na pwede siyang magkaroon ng direct contribution agad-agad dun sa organization right after mong ma-hire. Okay? One of the dangers for that is, kunyari, sabihin mo is, one of my strength is public speaking or communication. Pag na-overflex mo yon, for the lack of better term, pwedeng ma-pick up ng interviewer or ng hiring entity, baka naman sige na lang ang daldal nito. Baka kung sino-sino na lang kinakausap, baka marami na tong ma-divulge or ma-disclose about sa organization natin na hindi naman dapat. Yung strength mo tuloy, naging weakness siya. So, you need to siguro tone it down din na parang yung pinaka-immediate talaga na positive effect nung mga assets mo doon sa organization. Making sense so far?
Yes po.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay, so last two questions.
Sige lang, go.
So, if you could give one piece of advice to someone about to walk in an interview tomorrow, what would it be?
Okay. I'm gonna go back doon. Number one, of course, prayer. Pangalawa, yung mental conditioning na yun. If tomorrow na yan, you pray, of course. Pag sumagi sa isip mo na bukas na pala yun, start praying. Mag-pray ka kaagad. And what do you pray for? Of course, pray for clarity. Okay? Meron akong prayer na pinaka-paborito sa totoo lang. Let me just share it here. Yung Serenity Prayer. It's called the Serenity Prayer. It goes like this. Narinig mo na ba yun? Yung, God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So kasama siya dun sa mind conditioning, yung sa E plus R equals O. That whatever happens tomorrow, I'm gonna accept it wholeheartedly. Kung hindi man, maybe the universe or God has better plans for me, or hindi lang siguro ngayon. Okay? Cliché man yan sa marami, pero yun talaga yun eh. And of course, pag natanggap ka, then of course, celebration. Pero again, you need to rely on that reality na 50-50 talaga yan. Pwedeng yes, pwedeng no. Lagi. let's go to the technical stuff. Kung bukas na yung interview mo, you need to check yung oras ulit and your gadgets. Mag-alarm ka na kagad, mag-plan ka na kung anong oras ka magigising tomorrow. Okay? I also recommend lang, hindi recommend lang, hindi advice, but recommend option to, oo, pwede ring hindi. Depende kasi sa tao to eh. I can also recommend sleeping earlier siguro that night. Okay? Kasi scientifically, kahit pa feeling natin na ample yung sleep natin, minsan pwedeng mag-spike yung kung anong hormones dyan pagkakulang tayo sa tulog the next day. Unpredictable din yon. Okay? We cannot control our hormones. Hindi natin makontrol din yan. So, I may recommend sleeping earlier. Siguro kung yung normal na sleep cycle ninyo is siguro 9, try to sleep at 8 siguro tonight. Kung kunyari bukas na yung interview mo. Also try to check the weather forecast. Like for example, if the place where your interview is parang addressed, i-check mo yung oras yung weather doon. Ano ba yung mga weather conditions na pwedeng mangyari tomorrow? You can go as technical as yung number coding, minsan ganyan, yung traffic. Tapos try mo lang i-simulate lahat ng pwedeng mangyari, and in your mind, try to whatever you simulate, tignan mo yung pinaka-possible na response mo doon or solution doon. Like as simple as nasira yung takong ng sapatos ko. What should I do? Nakalabas ka na ng bahay. So, it's up to you. Ikaw nang bahala doon. Pero ang tanong ko, will you panic? Of course, no. Never panic. Okay? So, simulation. So, number 1 is yung clarity, yung acceptance, yung clear acceptance na 50-50 yan. Okay? Pangalawa, simulation ng lahat ng possible na pwedeng mangyari. Okay? Number 3 siguro, of course, let's go more physical and technical pa, your clothes. Accepted na colors lang until now, standard-wise. Black, navy blue, black, navy blue. Yun yung White is a little bit challenging minsan. White is okay lang siya pag undershirt. But if you're gonna wear all white sa interview, that's so attractive. The key there is everything, yung kailangan, yung lahat ng dapat mong isuot, it should not be very eye-catching. Even brown is not accepted to be fit for professional interview setups kasi ang brown is a little bit casual siya. Brown is, lalong-lalo brown and green kasi earth tones yung mga yan. So, kung job interview siya, parang ang dating, ang casual nung dating. So at least black and navy blue. Gray din pala, sorry, I forgot gray. So black, navy blue, and gray. So, obviously, I can paint the picture, pero siguro pop out na lang yan dito sa gilid. But, of course, sige, let me go technical with this a little bit. Blazers required ba? Yes, as much as possible. Required ang blazers. Blazers or suits are the most formal way to show that you are very much ready dun sa interview mo. Now, do you need to buy? No. You can rent? Pwede. Kung meron ka ng mga gamit na ganun pa, before you can play with your wardrobe, mix and match yung tatlong color na yun. Black, navy blue, or gray. Pwedeng all black, of course, mas maganda. All navy blue, all gray, mas maganda din. Sa shade din ng gray, ang maganda sa gray, you can go dark gray to light gray. Basta gray, okay lang yun. Yun yung sa taas, sa pants or sa skirt, and then sa blazer. Sa inner man, it's okay. Very standard, of course, is white. For the ladies, kasi hindi naman kayo nagne-necktie. So, white na inner na shirt na nakatuck in. Technical na ito, pero sige, let me just share. You want to know ba? Sa length na, if you plan to do skirts, dapat hindi siya, ano bang tawag niyo doon, Miss Faye? Dapat pencil cut lang?
Yes,
yung hindi yung nagbabalon na ganun?
Below the
Pwede naman siya na above, siguro mga 1 to 2 inches above the knee. Oh, pero not, yeah, that's different. Mahirap na yon. Sa shoes, heels are okay. Dapat closed toe. Closed toe dapat. Never wear boots sa sa interviews. Kahit leather pa yan, wag boots. Also goes for the gentlemen. Very konti lang and madali lang naman yan ma-identify ko ano yung mga dapat isuot. But I wanna focus doon sa head muna, sa buhok. Ponytail dapat. Hindi nakalugay. Job interview. I mean, that hair is it's beautiful pero mas maganda dapat nakalugay siya. Sa makeup naman, very minimal. Yung tinatawag nyo sa ladies na yun, parang ganon, yes. Lipstick as well, try to avoid red. Hindi siya
Kasi hindi vibrant.
yeah, hindi vibrant. Yung parang nude ba 'yon na tawag niyo dun sa
Nude.
lipstick, something like that. Oo. It goes the same for online and then face to face. For online interviews, if you're planning to wear necklace, yan ganyan, pwede na yan. Yung maliit
Okay
yung
lang.
and maliit din yung pendant. Okay? That's good. That's normal. That's okay. Earrings dapat hindi dangling. That's okay. Okay na yan.
Dalawa.
Mm.
Okay lang.
Pag dalawa. No. Sorry. Buti na lang. Isa lang dapat. Dito lang yung pinaka-standard. Oo. Other accessories pa, one watch is okay. One ring is okay as well. Kung may suot ka na ditong something, huwag ka na
Huwag na
magsuot
sa
ng
kabila.
something. I mean, okay lang naman. No offense. Pero minsan hindi nakakatulong yung mga lucky charm na mga ganyan-ganyan. Basta in general, anything na parang eye-catching para dun sa interviewer na pwedeng mag-cause ng mood shift niya dahil posibleng ayaw niya yung kulay na yon, nairita siya. Take note ha, most of the time, for hiring institutions, tens and hundreds of employees ang na-encounter nila araw-araw. So nakakapagod yon. Okay? Medyo swerte ka kung ikaw yung nauna. Kasi yung interviewer nun hindi pa pagod. Kadalasan ang biro, although never ko na-validate to na swerte daw yung pinakauna at saka pinakahuli. Kasi ang tendency yung pinakahuli, masaya na yung interviewer na matatapos na. So, tendency is baka ibuenas ka daw niya. But it's a myth. Hindi ko lang kung totoo yun. So, still, preparing your mental, yung physical mo din, of course. Okay. May isa pa pala akong hindi na-touch na aspect doon sa communication na part. I believe naman, kaya ka nalay dyan sa position na yan is you are confident, not arrogant, but you're confident that you can answer questions. Confident ka na kaya mong sagutin yung mga questions. I think most of the questions that you've given me, thank you, are more on the conditioning part, the preparation part. And it happens kasi sa maraming tao. Kaya naman nila. Kaso for whatever reason, nung nandun na sa interview, yung tinatawag nilang mental block, no. Also, according to studies then there's no such thing as mental block. In fact, kabaliktaran yung nangyayari. Marami kang naiisip. Hindi ka makapili. Hindi ka makapili. So, if that happens, if that happens, you can try to use yung ganon, yung formula na ganon, na may tendency na pwede ka ring mag-overthink. That's overthinking basically. And then, I think na-share ko sa ito before. Yung, oo ba? Yeah, it's the reverse pala, sorry. But okay, if this happens, if ever, sige, andun ka na sa interview session, okay? Nakaupo ka na doon, and for whatever reason, parang walang lumalabas na words sa'yo. So you can use this format, okay? You greet first. Mag-greetings ka muna. Okay? And then, try to acknowledge yung presence ng interviewer. And then, give your piece. And then, right after, magpasalamat ka dun sa time na binigay niya sa'yo. Keep that in mind. Yung ganong format. Okay, greet na muna. I-acknowledge the presence. Like, for example, good morning, ma'am. Morning, sir. Thank you so much for being here, for spending time with me. And then, give your piece. And then, right after, magpasalamat ka. Kasi, sabi ko nga, hanggat hindi ka pa na-hire, yung application process, hindi pa tapos yan. Hanggat wala pang verdict kung na-hire ka man o hindi pa tapos yan. So, it's very important then to thank the interviewer. So, putting that in mind, pwede naman siya na maging cause ng ng konting pag-structure ng mga sagot mo. There's another one. Yung message, reason, evidence, and message na format. Like I've said kanina, ang interview sessions parang public speaking din yan. So, message, like for example, okay, pagka tinanong, can you tell me about yourself? So message is kasama na doon yung um, greeting, something like that. And you can say na, well, my friends are referring to me as somebody with a deep sense of loyalty. Yun yung message mo. Reason is, it's because, ganyan. Halo mo ng it's because. Evidence is, okay, I've been with these people for the longest time, and I can tell them, I can tell that everything that they're saying about me is true. Well, they actually tell me bad things as well. I'm not nobody's perfect, but ganon yung evidence. And then lastly, but that's yung last na message. But that's how they see me. I can say that I'm a loyal person according to them. So yung message, reason, example, and then message. Structure mo lang siya. Structure nyo lang siya. So maraming klaseng format niyan. But that's the most basic I think that I can share to really structure yung sagot. Any kind of question, you can start by message. Actually, ako nga noon, ginagamit ko actually is dalawang actually. Ginagamit ko noon is, I usually use quotations. Nag-memorize ako ng mga quotations na relevant doon sa organization. Okay? Like, pinaka-simple siguro like, sabi ni Mark Twain, sabi ni Mark Twain, don't let your schooling be a hindrance of your education. Parang ganon. So, don't let your schooling be a hindrance to your education. So, ibig sabihin, kahit tapos na yung schooling mo, dapat you're still educating yourself, you're still learning and developing yourself. Parang ganun. So, mga ganung klase, doon ako nag-start. And then, sa ako na sinasagot. Medyo poetic, pero it helps kasi para makuha mo din yung susunod na piece nung sasabihin mo. But I think, all of that, mas importante yung why. Ma-focus ko sa why. Kahit pa feeling mo na may mental block ka, whatever that is, always remember your purpose. Ba't ba ako talaga nag-apply dito? Do I really want this job? Do I really want this position? What I'm talking about is yung internal inspiration na yon. Kasi when that turns on, yung internal inspiration na yon, your words will flow. Legit yan. Magfo-flow yan automatically. When you are inspired, parang visualizing yourself na, I really wanted this job. Pwede namang hindi ako mag-apply dito, pero I really genuinely believe to everything that this organization is standing for. I really want to be with them. Ini-inspire mo yung sarili mo and then the words will flow. Again, that is if personally naniniwala ka din talaga sa mga mission and vision nila. So,
thank you so much.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Last question, yeah. Oh, okay.
So, what message would you like to leave for job seekers who may feel discouraged? Lalo na pag sa mga interview.
Like I've said, a few seconds ago pa lang, identify your purpose. Why in the first place ka nag-apply doon? I mean, it always go back to that. Lalong-lalo na, I mean, remembering and not forgetting your purpose, it's very useful pag nagsisimula ka pa lang sa career, when you are in the middle of your career na napapagod ka, and then lalong-lalo, pag nandun ka na sa twilight ng career mo, pag paalis ka na doon. Sinishare ko din to even sa couples before, na pag may nakakilala kaming couples na parang may conflict, why don't you remember yung pinakaunang moment na nagkakilala kayo, yung kilig na yan. Yung kilig na yan, kasi yung ganda ng tanong mo na yun, kasi employees that are being applicants that are being discouraged. Guys, hindi pa nga kayo nag-apply, don't be discouraged. Wala pa kayo. So, remember kung bakit bakit nyo pa pinili applyan to. Convince yourself na indeed, gusto ko talaga mag-apply dito. Okay? So going back to the couple, sinasabi namin, pag nag-share sila, merong di pagkakasunduan, try to remember yung pinakaunang moment na kung sa ladies, nung niligawan ka niya, and ikaw naman, gentleman, nung nanliligaw ka sa kanya, alalahanin nyo lang yun, yung exact na feeling niyo kasi imposible nyo makalimutan yun. That's biologically sa atin. It always, pag ang experience may kahalong emotion, it's very difficult to
Embedded
delete
talaga.
sa ating system. Embedded, yes. Doon, minsan ingrained na nga actually yan doon sa system natin. So try to remember that lang. And to those aspiring professionals, mga applicants na ganun, humble advices for you. You can take this to heart. Pwede rin namang hindi. If you take this to heart, then thank you so much. Kung hindi rin, I'll still pray for you. Pero what I can say is, identify that purpose. Bakit ba talaga ninyo napiling mag-apply dyan? And try to visualize, okay, if ever man na ma-hire ako, can I really stay here for the longest time? Do I really want to do this potentially for the rest of my life? Or kung hindi man, okay, I accept na this can just be a stepping stone for my growth. Okay lang din naman yon. But your purpose is important. Again, bakit ka ba nag-apply dyan? As a stepping stone for your growth? Or gusto mo talagang doon na mag-retire through and through? What's your purpose there? Or baka meron ka lang gusto doon sa company na yon. Di ba? Na parang may gusto kang tao doon. Or yung sahod. I mean, I have no offense for that. No offense to that. Kung binabalak mo na gusto mo mag-apply doon because of the salary, the whatever benefits pa, okay lang naman yun. You're checking your human needs. Pero you need to understand as well that there's so much things bigger than profit.
Yes.
Dito sa Smart Speech, our core values are purpose, passion, professionalism, and people. So nag-start kami sa purpose. We're so blessed na alam namin yan. And it's also important for us to realize na although alam namin yung purpose, pero there will be times na nakaka-burnout, nakakasunog, nakakaubos. So we need passion. Take note, purpose and passion are different from each other. Okay? So you need that passion. Oftentimes, may nakausap ako recently lang, one of our mentees, coaches na kino-coach namin dito for Upself, yung flagship program namin, she told me like, Coach, parang naubusan po ako ng purpose. I'm sorry, I respectfully disagree. Ang nauubos dyan yung passion. But there's ang clue dyan, pag naubos yung passion mo, is either pagka gutom ka, pagka inaantok ka. Physical, ang manifestations ng quote-unquote pagkaubos ng passion. So therefore pala, kung yung passion ang magsusupport ng purpose, you need to also fuel the passion. Okay? And when I say fuel the passion, most of the time, it may sound weird, pero kailangan mo ding magpahinga para mag-refill ulit din yung passion mo. Ang danger din kasi, just like me, when you overdo your passion, when you become overly passionate sa isang bagay, may tendency talaga na figuratively nauubos yan. Lalong-lalo na if you feel na parang you're overdoing this using your passion, tas wala kang nakukuhang personal na balik, hindi man sahod, but parang kahit appreciation, wala kang nakukuha, your mind will play tricks on you na parang this passion of mine is not worth it. Be careful pag naubos yung passion mo kasi hindi niya na masusupport yung purpose. And you need the purpose. Kailangan mo masuportahan yung purpose ng passion. Okay, so pag na-check mo yon, you can go technical, professionalism. Diyan na papasok yung sa personal development, sa communication, how to really talk professionally sa tao. Importante na. And then lastly, of course, yung people. Para saan ba yung purpose mo? Para saan ba yung passion mo? Para saan ba yung ginagawa mong professionalism or para saan ba yung deep sense mo ng professionalism? Siyempre, para sa tao. For the people. Okay? People, human beings, are His creations. So therefore, yung apat na yun, pag pinagsama-sama mo, it's service. If you identify that your purpose in life, just like us, is unconditional service, okay? Big phrase. Pero ang ganda nun. It only means that when you want to serve unconditionally, hindi lang basta volunteerism type of service, but alam mo na wala ka talagang makukuha dito. Kahit thank you, alam mo na wala. But you still do it. You still need to serve. Deep inside you, you know that you need to serve and you also want to serve. That's unconditional service. And one of the best purposes in life, marami, pero unconditional service. Kung yun yung kaya mong i-communicate doon sa nag-hire sa'yo, there's a high chance they will say yes. Okay? There's a high chance that they will say yes. I'm not saying na mag-yes sila kaagad, but there's a high chance that they will say yes. Kasi they can see na guiding principles nga ng organization nila is to serve them. I mean, come to think of it, almost all, if not all, organizations, companies, entrepreneurial ventures, businesses, lahat yan nakatuon sa serbisyo. Iba-ibang sectors lang ang pinagsisilbihan. Iba-ibang klase ng tao, iba-ibang markets, iba-ibang industries ang pinagsisilbihan or sinaserve. But lahat yan nakatuon sa service. So if you can communicate service that way, again, there's a high chance na pwede kang ma-hire any kind of organization. There's a high chance that they will say yes to you. Of course, minus the bureaucracy kung meron man, pero sana wala. Oo. But yeah.
So,
you want more? Ano pa mga personal, ikaw, kung may personal questions ka?
actually, wala.
Wala naman, okay. So, ayun lang. By the way, thank you so much, Miss Vey,
Thank you
for
din po.
giving me throwing me those questions. Nasalo ko naman lahat. But it's very important lang kasi, it's very vital, especially nowadays, in my humble observation, and ako nga mismo personally, maraming nagtatanong sa akin, sa amin dito, sa aming humble organization, how can we really prepare for an interview? I'm rephrasing the question for them. Okay, why do you really need to apply for that job? And why is purpose yung reason mo? So it always, like I've said, it always goes down or boils down to that concept, sense, or thought. O nga naman, bakit nga naman? Like I've said, okay na your probable reasons are sa income. That's okay. Human need, okay naman yun. But on top of that, dapat may mas malaki kang ano doon. Kasi notice this, siguro final words for this very interesting conversation. Thank you so much, Miss Bay, by the way. Maubos na lahat ng monetary assets sa mundo. But kung pupwede lang, yung purpose mo, wag. Never. Kasi, to be honest with you, you can live kahit minimal lang yung sasahurin mo as long as you are focused in whatever good that you want to contribute sa mundo. The money will follow. The money will follow. Money is not really in the equation. Wala yan dun sa core values namin. Come to think of it, you can have money in so many ways. Legal and illegal. Right? Di ba? Yung mga hinihiring nga ngayon, if you're following the news, I don't. Pero sila nga, di ba? Dami nilang pera, but
Yes.
questionable wealth. So, di ba? I mean, money is not in the question. It's not even in the equation actually. So, just be clear with your purpose. Big word man yan, I know. But for mature people who are listening to us, I know you can understand this. You're matured enough to understand. Just cling on your purpose, know your purpose, and then, yeah, this world will be a better place because of you, because of us. Okay.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
po.
thank you din,
Thank
Miss
you
Bay.
po.